Welcome back to German with John Berlin, and today we'll be looking at a very interesting topic, that where are the third person pronouns derived from and how to remember them. So what are the third person pronouns? Let's have a quick look. Like we did in our first grammar table, the personal pronouns, we saw that they are distributed according to the first, second, third person, singular, plural. So today we'll be looking at just the third person pronouns in singular, that is er, sie, es, ihn, sie, es, ihr, mir, ihm, as well as third person pronouns plural, sie, sie, ihnen. And we'll try to find out where are they derived from and how to remember them. Now, as we see, these are the only pronouns which have got a gender in them. Er, sie, es, ihn, sie, es, ihm, ihr, ihm, just like he, she, it, him, her, it, to him, to her, to it, and they, to they, them, to them. Yes. So these pronouns are derived from nowhere else but our definiter article. How? Let's have a look. Now, these are the definiter article written right in between, underneath the third person, yeah, singular, as well as the third person plural. These are your singular articles. This is the plural article. So let's have a quick look. They are the das, nominative, den, the, das, accusative, dem, der, dem, dative, and there are some respective plurals, the, den with an extra n. Yes. So let's compare where do the third person pronouns are derived from. So as I mentioned, and just like we saw, they're derived from the definiter article. Der becomes er, die becomes sie, das becomes es, den becomes ihn, yes, die becomes sie, and das becomes es, dem becomes ihm, der becomes ihr, dem becomes ihm. Coming to plurals, die, which is like plural nominative article, definiter article, yes, there, the, das, the, becomes sie. Yes, that's the third person plural. And the accusative plural, which is like our den, die, das, die, becomes sie again, which is our third person accusative plural. And den with an extra n becomes ihnen. So perfect. What this extra n means, I'll tell later. All right, so basically we saw that er, which is he, is derived from this table, and ihn, which is him, is derived from den, die, das here, respectively. Yes, and ihm is from them, der, dem. Similarly, our plurals. So we shouldn't stop here. We could see if this also compares with the other articles. And if we go on to see, yes, basically these personal pronouns could be compared to the definiter article, and from the definiter article we can derive the other articles. So it's a comparison of personal pronouns with all the other articles with the help of definiter article. So er, sie, es is derived from there, the, das, which is easily comparable to ein, eine, ein, kein, keine, kein. Similarly, ihn, sie, es derived from den, die, das, which is comparable to einen, einen, ein, keinen, keine, kein. And ihm, ihr, ihm is derived from den, der, dem, which is comparable to einem, einer, einem, keinem, keiner, keinem. Perfect. And in the end, we have ihnen, which is derived from den with an extra n here, and it could be compared to kein. Perfect. So this is just a consolidated table showing our personal pronouns with all the other articles. Why do we do this? Now, the idea is, if you can remember the definiter article, they are the, das, the, den, the, das, the, dem, der, dem, den with an extra n, automatically you'll be able to remember your third person pronouns. Yes, so this is the trick to remember your third person pronouns, that you remember your definiter article. if you remember your definite article, you just don't remember personal pronouns, you also remember the related articles. So in crux, please learn the definite article in nominative, accusative, dative. They are the, das, the, den, die, das, die, them, they are, them, den with an extra N. All right. Now with this in mind, here is a little exercise in which you have to replace the articles with pronouns. Yes. Wherever you see there, you need to write er. Wherever you see den, you need to write en or die, sie und so weiter. Yes. That means accordingly. So we just need to switch the articles to pronouns. Let's find out. There is an example here. Der Mann visits einen Freund. Der Mann besucht einen Freund. Der Mann visits einen Freund. So instead of saying the man visits a friend, I could simply say, instead of der, I'll go to der and switch it with er. Visits einen Freund. Instead of einen, I'll go to einen here and switch it with ihn. Fantastic. So er besucht ihn, which means he visits him. Yeah, he visits him, or a man visits a friend. Perfect. So with the same concept in mind, we could attempt to do a couple of more examples on our right. The father gives to the son a computer. So instead of der, we could write er. Perfect. Gives to the son. Yes. So instead of them, we could write em. Very good. Yes. Einen Computer instead of einen, which we see here, we could simply write Ian. Very good. So fantastic. So basically, er gibt ihm Ian, he gives to him it. Yes. Perfect. The teacher invites the children. Again, instead of the, we'll find the as who. We'll go to who and find the. It's here. And instead of the, we'll write z. So we'll write she, like z, invites the children. Whom? So we'll go to whom and find the. It is like here. And instead of the, we'll write z. Okay, now there's a little catch. This is plural. So my mistake. It shouldn't be singular. It should be plural. So we'll go to whom. And we'll not go to feminine. We'll go to plural, which is down under here. The. And we'll write this z. Yeah. So this z is them. Yeah. So instead of the children, I'll write here z. C, z invites z, z lädt sie ein, which means she invites them. Yes. This is who. This is whom. They, she, them. Okay. The police catches the thief. Again, let's find out who. We go to who. The police, feminine. So instead of the, we'll write z. Very good. She. So police is feminine in German. She catches the thief. Thief is again whom. We go to whom. And it's den thief. So we'll see den. Instead of den, we'll write Ian. Fantastic. So she catches him. She being the police, him being the thief. Now the old man gives to the poor kid a new pen. The old man, who? Let's go to who and go to there. Instead of there, we write er. So we write er. Gifts to the poor kid. So basically, to whom? Yes. To whom? Let me update this. And the answer is to whom? It's written them. We go to them. This is the them we are talking about, neutral. And instead write em. So here we write em. He gives to him. he gives to him, he being the old man, to him being the poor kid, a new pen. So what? Yes, what does he give? Perfect. It's einen. So under what? We go to einen, and from einen we get Ian. So basically here we could write Ian. Yes. So he gifts to him, or he gives to him it being your computer, or it being your pen. Fantastic. So this is how you could follow the definiter articles and find out the third person pronouns from them. Yes. Fantastic. So attempt the others in your workbook, cross-check the answers in the answer book, and to work, if there is any problems, come back to this video. The tip is you need to find the gender. Yes, you need to find, or in other words, first you need to find the case, you need to find the gender of the article and switch it with a pronoun. Yes, like in this one, who, you go to the case who, gender is there, you find there, switch it with er, which is er. Perfect. That's what you do for the others. Thanks for joining in. This is John Berlin signing off. See you in the next lesson.